Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Karotul. Arpit here again. And let's talk about some more terminologies that they use into networking. But basically, it's pretty straightforward. You will see. Workstation versus server. It's not a fight. We are not talking about they're going to have any kind of fight. But what is the differences between these two terms that they generally use in networking? So let's get into it. Workstations are your normal computers where you actually log in and you access your network from that computer. It could be a normal PC, it could be your laptop, and nowadays even you can access your network from your mobile phones or IoT devices. So Internet of Things. So because of the Wi-Fi, you can connect many kind of devices, but any device who is accessing your services, we will call them workstations. Pretty straightforward, right? So workstation is nothing special, just a computer accessing the network services. On the other hand, when we come to the servers, as the name suggests, I am here to serve. Please tell me what would you like to have. So the servers actually are the special computers who are created, or sorry, who have the applications to serve you different kind of applications depending on what is exactly your requirement. For example, host specific applications used by many users on a particular server. So a server could be hosting a lot of files, and maybe many workstation would like to access those files, or a host would be hosting a website and you would like to access that website. So it could be a different kind of application it is providing. But mostly what servers mean is that you have a dedicated application or a set of applications which many users would like to access, right? So you will see that the servers could be physical devices, means you can have a physical server with a lot of memory and a lot of processing power, or they can also be virtualized node in a physical device. So nowadays what's happening is we use something called virtualization, where we use a very powerful physical device, and on these physical devices or physical servers, we actually create multiple virtual servers which are completely isolated from each other. So the same physical device can actually service a lot of different kind of applications, even to different users or different companies also. Nowadays you must have heard about Amazon Web Services, or Microsoft also has their own solution. So you will see that all these solutions which we have, these are the cloud technologies. They also just virtualize your physical devices, or they virtualize your softwares, or they can even virtualize the operating system for you. So different kind of virtualization can also be used for the server part, right? Examples of servers, as I mentioned, you always go to internet, you access any website, you are actually accessing a web server. And if you are copying a file from a server, you are using a file server. In networking, we have different addresses, just like you and me have a home address, right? Same thing, every device has an address which is called IP address. That's how we reach to a device. And if you don't want to manually configure every device address, you can use DHCP server, which is used to configure the computers or the workstations with the IP addresses, right? So dynamic host configuration protocol. So it can configure address on them, or DNS server. You can see that the addresses we use in networking, these are numerical values. These are numbers like 1.1.1.1 or 192.168.1.1. These are addresses of different computers. So if you have to remember these numbers, it could become very difficult. Instead, it's very easy to remember google.com, right? Or facebook.com. These are names which you can easily remember, instead some IP address or a number system. That's where the DNS server comes into the picture, domain naming system, which simply takes your name and converts it to an IP address or the address which is used by the computer. So very, very useful server. So these are some examples I'm giving you. Different kind of problem is solved by different type of application, right? And that application is hosted on that server. Let's say that you are accessing internet, you are surfing internet on your laptop, and you type www.google.com. So what happens is that you are trying to connect to a web server, right? So the web server is somewhere on the internet. Google has multiple servers throughout the world, and you will be connecting one of the nearest server, and then you will get your data. And you see, we were talking about protocols in the last videos. The servers and the client, they communicate, or the workstation and the server, they communicate using a protocol, and the protocol depend depends on which kind of application you are accessing. So if you are going to a web server, you will be using a different protocol like HTTP. But let's say that you are trying to copy a file from a file server, then you will be using a different protocol, file transfer protocol. So the protocols are just the mediums that you use to communicate to different type of applications, right? So this is the basic idea, and this is the difference between workstation and servers. I hope you liked it. I'll see you into the next one.